Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways to ink up your solid stamps, in particular, a very darling stamp set from Spellbinders. Today's video is part of a blog hop, so make sure to check out the link to my blog in the description box below. This is the super cute Chill Summer stamp and die set, which is the stamp set of the month from Spellbinders for July 2022. I am showing you here all the dies. There are dies to cut out the images as well as the sentiments, which super cool. Okay, let's stamp a background using the little strawberry from this set. I think it's so cute. So I'm just taking the solid image and stamping that in Coral Berry ink from Altenew, and then I'm going to just randomly stamp it, turning the stamp as I go, stamping some off the edge. Then I'm bringing in Velvet ink, just a little bit shade darker than the Coral Berry. So the seeds on the strawberries are very subtle, a little tone on tone, and I think it's a really fun look. So once I am done with the Velvet ink, I'm putting all those away and bringing out Bamboo for the little topper. I like this bright green with this color combination. I think it's really fun. So those stamp right on top of the strawberry, and then we are going to add a little bit of color to the edge, which will really draw the eye into the center. So this is Frosty Pink, and this is a lighter shade than the Coral Berry. If you're not familiar with Altenew inks, they're sold in sets of 4, and they get gradually darker or gradually lighter. And now I'm going to bring back that Velvet ink, add some water to it, and just splatter it all over my card front, because I love splatter, and I think it just makes this kind of look more like a piece of patterned paper instead of something that I stamped. I love making my own backgrounds. So now I will add some sparkle silk, which has to be one of my most favorite things to splatter. Look at that fun background. Okay, let's set it aside and let's talk about the first very fun way you can ink up your solid stamps like this popsicle. I'm going to do an ombre effect. I did my Frosty Pink first, then I added Coral Berry, but not going all the way to the top. Then I added my Velvet just at the very bottom. So I have 3 shades of ink. And that sound right there is me huffing on my stamp, just adding a little hot breath to it to re-moisten that ink in case the pink, the lightest pink on there, had dried a little bit. Now, this is not perfect inking. If you want it to be a little bit more smooth in your transition, you could use a sponge dauber to add your ink on. I stamped over it one more time just with the Frosty Pink, and I like how that kind of intensified all the colors. Now, for the popsicle stick, I have hazelnut ink. I'm stamping the solid piece, and then there's a little detail stamp that you can use to add kind of like wood grain to that. So I'm going to use a darker shade of ink, and that is milk chocolate, and I'll stamp that right over the top on that little stick. And there is a line on the left hand side that helps you kind of line it up, and it doesn't look bad if you don't get it completely lined up. There are dies to die cut these out, so I have 2 popsicles I'm doing, and now to splatter these, I'm adding the sparkle silk to the ink, and I thought that would be enough moisture, but I needed a little bit more, so I added some water, but the splatter on my popsicles is a little bit shimmery. Now, in hindsight, I think I might have liked these popsicles better had I not splattered them, because I feel like it takes away from the ombre effect a little bit, but I don't hate them either. All right, now for my sentiment, I have some super bright green cardstock and then olive ink, which is a darker shade of ink than the little stems I stamped, and it says, "You're my favorite flavor." It's really cute. All right, let's put this card together. So I have a 3/4 of an inch band that's going across the middle. Next, I'll put my popsicles together with their sticks, and then I'm going to glue those to a vellum circle that I die cut with a circle die. And my popsicles are just a tiny bit bigger than the circle, and I'm okay with that. I think they look really cute overlapped like that, because sometimes it is hard to just eat one popsicle, you know? Especially when it's 102, like it was today in Eagle, Idaho, where I live. 102. Yeah, there's summer for you. I'm going to take a little bit of twine and tie some teeny tiny bows because I think they're so cute, and add those to the stem. It's a stick, really. Your popsicle stem. Yeah, words are hard sometimes. So I think that is just like the sweetest little look to have the bows there. It's hard for me not to do it. And then I wanted to have one strawberry, like, more prominent on my card, so I'm going to stamp them. Now, what you should know about this set is the stem is separate from the strawberry, the die is separate, and I think that's because you can also make like a bunch of grapes with this set, and you could use the same stem maybe at the top of the grapes, so it's kind of nice to have them separate, easier to ink them up in the color that you want, and I'm just playing with this, trying to figure out exactly where I want to put it. And therefore I don't push down on my foam squares until I know I have it where I want. So to really like have that strawberry stand out, I went over the top of it with some glaze, and then I'm mounting this to my A2 sized card. I'm making 2 more cards in this video, and I am making all different size cards because I love to do that. Now just adding a few sequins to finish this off. They're flat backed and they're so gorgeous, and they're all from a new collection at Spellbinders. I'm going to use another color on the next card. Speaking of the next card, we're going to jump right in and try a different way to ink up this popsicle. We're going to make some lime popsicles, which happens to be my favorite flavor. So now I have bamboo ink, a light green ink, and then inking it up with a much darker green, or inking up my lime with a much darker green, and stamping right onto the surface of that popsicle stamp that has been inked up with the lighter color. So this has traditionally been called the kissing technique, where you kiss 2 stamps together. I did that and made 3 lime popsicles. Now, to intensify the color, I did stamp over the top with the bamboo ink one more time, which I found these really easy to line up, and even if you got out of the lines a little bit, not a big deal. So once those were dry, then I took a Post-it note and stuck it to the back of my popsicle, pressed the popsicle into my clear pigment ink, clear embossing ink, and then I sprinkled on some clear embossing powder. So my popsicles will be nice and shiny and glistening like a real popsicle. So I'm going to melt that powder, and you can see how it gets really nice and shiny. I'll repeat that with the other 2, and then we'll go ahead and add their sticks right to them, and they're ready to go on my card. But speaking of my card, I'm going to take a craft piece of cardstock and emboss it with this geometric striped embossing folder. That's the embossing folder of the month for July 2022. And then once that's embossed on my slimline card front panel, I'm going to splatter it with some silks. Now, I mentioned the sparkle silk at the beginning of the video. I used a green and a teal, which I believe have retired from the Spellbinders shop, but I still have them, so I need to use them, right? That's what I encourage you to do. You could always repeat that look with like some metallic watercolor or other sprays that you might have. And now I'm going to do that same little technique of dusting the color on the edge of the card, and I used hazelnut ink, and that just really helps just draw your eye into the center and soften out those edges. I'm putting my popsicles onto my card with some foam squares, and then they're going to have bows too. And this is just a scrap of twine I have in my stash that came with an order, and I saved it to use on a card, and oh my word, I finally actually did it. Do you ever have that? You save something forever and never end up using it? Yeah. So I got to be really proud of myself when I actually do use it. So now I'm embossing my sentiment that says, "Have a chill summer," and that will be die cut out with the coordinating sentiment die. Love that so much. And then that can be put onto my card. So here you can see I did half glue where it's going to stick to the popsicle, and half foam square on the back where it sticks to the card. And now here are some more of those flat back sequins from Spellbinders that I'm sticking down to my card. They match so nicely and have a little bit of iridescent shine to them. I'm mounting this to my slimline card base, which is 8.5 by 7.5 and scored at 3.5. And you can see I have a nice white border around my card front that really draws your eye in, which that's what it's all about, right? Focusing in on those yummy, delicious popsicles. I'm stamping some extra limes using that bamboo ink and moss ink and die cutting them out so I can have another little accent for this card. One of them I'm going to cut in half so I have a little lime wedge, and then I'll glue them together and pop them up onto my card. So I have this cute little element. Like I always say, love is in the details when you're making your cards, and this is just one of those little extra details. And I loved how my strawberry turned out on card number 1, so I decided to go ahead and add some glaze to these limes to help them look nice and shiny, kind of like the popsicle, but the glaze definitely has more dimension than just embossing it with clear powder, so a different look. And here I'm sprinkling on some glitter. I love to do this with my glaze. This is very fine glitter, so it's one of those things you're going to see when you turn it in the light. But there is card number 2 completed using that kissing technique. All right, let's jump into card number 3. I'm going to use 2 other of the kits of the month on this card as well. But first, let's talk about our technique for inking up this solid stamp. I inked it up with a light colored ink, and now I'm going to spray it with some Distress Mica spray. I just did one really light mist, and then I'm going to stamp this down. And this is going to give this popsicle what I feel looks like an icy, melty texture of an actual popsicle. Kind of a realistic look. And then I thought it would be really fun to go ahead and use my scissors to take a bite out of this popsicle. Oh, I love it. So for the background here, I am going to use the Glimmer kit of the month, which is Add a Stripe of Color, and some purple foil. I'm going to go right through the middle. Now this purple does not perfectly coordinate with the purple of my stamp. That's okay. It's just a fun purple kind of themed card. I put this face down onto my Glimmer hot foil system, press the timer, add my top plates, and then I can remove that entire dock, run it through my die cut machine. The heat and the pressure are going to transfer that image, that plate, onto my paper. It's just magical. If you're wanting to know more about hot foiling, I have a ton of Glimmer hot foil videos. I will link that playlist at the end of this video. Now this Glimmer hot foil kit of the month also comes with a die where you can die cut out some other strips of paper that you can use with your hot foiled stripes. I just think it's like really clever and so fun. So I used some like holographic silver paper here. In hindsight, since I'm telling you all my regrets in this video, like the splatter on the strawberry popsicles, I think I would have liked some like a variation of purple paper there. I'm not sure. Tell me what you think about my background. Is it too much? Sometimes I do that. I like to be a little bit too much when making cards. I like all the extras. So now I am putting together my food truck, which is the large die of the month for July, and I love this. It is so darn cute. If you would like a more in-depth video on this food truck, I have a video that I made where I really show you what each piece is, how to put it together, and all of that, and make a super cute slimline card if I don't say so myself. So I will have that linked at the end of the video too, so stay tuned for those options at the end here. Now I just backed this with a second die cut truck to sturdy it up, and then on top is going to go my cute little popsicle. Oh my word, it's so fun. But the die itself, you can make a taco truck or an ice cream truck. They have dies for that. All right, so now I stuck my truck onto my background with some foam squares, and it's time to add some sentiments. This is from the same popsicle set. It says Sunshine and Good Times. I'm going to stick that right on the food truck, and then let's bring in the glaze again, but this time I'm going to glaze right over my popsicle. Now this is completely clear, so I'm still going to be able to see that texture that I added with the spray onto my stamp. But this time I'm going to add a little bit of chunky glitter. So this glitter is a little bit bigger and it adds just a really fun element to this that kind of repeats in the background paper that I used on my stripes. And then very carefully I stamped Happy Birthday there at the top of the paper and then stuck it down to a 5x5 card. So that completes card number 3. I hope you enjoyed these fun ways to ink up your solid stamps. You could totally use these techniques with solid stamps that you already have, or maybe you have this clear stamp of the month and you can give these a try. Now, don't forget, these cards are for a hop that I'm doing with Spellbinders, so check out the link to that in the description box below and find out how you could win a shopping spree to Spellbinders. Yeah! Thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you all again very soon on the next video. Happy stamping! Bye!